Ben Stiller, welcome to 7:30.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, Zoolander 2, was this entire film just an excuse to kill off Justin Bieber?
No, not at all.
Oh no, it's such an extended scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I was saying, it was, we actually wrote the script about 5 years ago, the first draft of it, and Justin was always in it, but he was just sort of sort of this teen pop star, and now he has this whole other cultural significance, and I think it was great that he wanted to do it and have some fun with his image. And
of course, in the scene of his, protracted injury by gunfire, he Instagrams himself at a really crucial moment.
Yes.
Now, bizarre as it may seem, when Zoolander first came out, Instagram wasn't around, Twitter wasn't, Facebook wasn't even around. Now, in this era now of people creating their own images of kind of self-documentation and self-parody, do you feel like we're all Derek Zoolander now?
Well, I mean, Derek definitely fits in this world in that way. I mean, I think he's sort of the progenitor of the, of the selfie, really. I mean, and he was just ahead of the curve somehow. It's just, it's really interesting to look at it that way when we started thinking about doing the movie, thinking about the first one and how much has changed in terms of social media, which just didn't really exist back then, and how it's changed our attitudes about ourselves. And, I see it in kids and my kids, and just, it's part of their life. So, it's definitely right up Derek's alley, and it's been fun to sort of, have him explore that world and be a part of that.
Do you think it fosters the narcissism that you've been parodying? I mean, there's a scene in which Derek's son says to him, "You're the most self-involved narcissistic person ever." And he says, "That's not how I think of myself."
That's right.
Do you think that is actually is changing us?
Yeah, and then the line we cut out was, "And you don't know how you saying that about me makes me feel about myself."
Yeah, right. Right.
It's a part of being human for sure, and how much we indulge it, how much you want to flip your camera phone to to selfie mode and look at yourself.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
When you made the first Zoolander, you had to argue very hard to convince them to do it, I think. What was it that they weren't getting about it?
Oh, everything, really. Like, wait, you're a male model? I don't understand. Right. It's like this ridiculous movie.
Right.
We had done the character on the VH1 Fashion Awards as a sketch, and that's how the idea for the movie came about. And when it came out, people didn't quite get what it was either. But
they're still struggling with it.
They are. Yeah. They're still struggling. Still nobody knows. But that's why it's funny to be here 15 years later doing another one. It just, for me, I think maybe that's part of what has changed in how people experience movies, is that it was discovered either at first through DVD, and then I think through sharing and streaming, and so.
But why is that? It's had a much longer tail.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out, obviously the timing wasn't fantastic because America was grieving after September 11. But why do you think it went on to have such momentum?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I think part of it might be that, what we were talking about earlier, that, Derek does sort of exist in this selfie culture, and then, the narcissism, and also the innocence of the character. He's a sweet guy. He's a sweet, innocent guy who really is incredibly self-absorbed, but he's not really aware of it.
What would you say your trademark is, if you have one?
Well, I guess the look I'm best known for is blue steel.
What's that look like?
Was there a moment in which you realised Blue Steel had a life beyond any film?
I started to see people referencing Blue Steel, and because it's a look also that everybody does when somebody takes a picture of you.
Right.
It's a look that I would do in the mirror when I was brushing my hair, and
didn't your wife used to?
Yes, yeah, and it's just that face you put on for the camera that you think looks good.
Right. When there was a profile of you in 2012 in the New Yorker, and Emma Watts, who I think was the head of production then at Fox, said, "When you make a movie with Ben Stiller, you have to trust his sense of what's funny." What is that sense? Where does it come from?
Nice of her to trust that. I mean, I think it's it's such a personal thing. You just have to kind of go with what makes you laugh.
So it is you. You know, it's
well, that's all you have. I think when you're doing comedy of any type, you just have to go from your gut feeling.
Do you have a story you want to tell next?
I want to make an unfunny comedy.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
But see, we're laughing.
You might say
yeah.
I've already done that. No, I'd like to make a movie that's just sort of, you know, maybe like a historical thing or something that's like kind of not necessarily having to be super funny.
You have so many celebrities in this Zoolander 2. It's astonishing. I'm assuming that people were very keen to be part of it, which is fascinating in itself.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about two that appeared in Zoolander 1? The first being Donald Trump.
Look, without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't be what it is today.
Does it surprise you that Donald Trump is now a candidate for president of the United States?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised that he's gotten this far and that it's gone on this long with, you know, the rhetoric that he puts out there, for sure.
Right.
But you know, I don't know, for me, he seems more like sort of like the villain in a Naked Gun movie or something. Can't take him seriously, you know. But some people are taking him seriously, which is the crazy thing. And I think, you know, he is. You know, I think he's going to keep going with it as long as people keep taking it. But I don't see it going all the way.
All the way to the White House.
I don't think so.
David.
That's my prediction. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Okay.
Okay. All right. David Bowie.
Yeah.
His passing, global grief. What will you remember about working with him?
How gracious he was. First of all, he had no business being in our movie. I didn't know him, or we just reached out. We said, hey, you know, it'd be so cool if David Bowie would be the walk-off judge. And for some reason, he said yes.
Now, this will be a straight walk-off. Old school rules. First model walks, second model duplicates, then elaborates.
He was just incredibly cool, as you would expect, and committed. He was a really good actor. I mean, he made a lot of really good films, and so, you know, he took it very seriously, and he helped us by, you know, he legitimized us by being in the film. So I was very grateful.
Ben Stiller, thank you so much for joining us on 7:30.